you so much for joining us. This means a lot to me and to Chrissy. My name is Lisa.
I am Chrissy.
And as you all know, we're working on our book. It's called Besties, A Cancer Love Story. And when we first found out that Chrissy had cancer, we found that there were a lot of resources, books and magazines and stories for people who are dealing with cancer, but nothing for best friends. And there was no place to go to really share our feelings and to share the questions that you might have and to just talk amongst people that really understood. Yeah. And we thought that we would start this podcast. It's eventually going to be a podcast on Substack so that we can have a place to come together, a safe place where we could just share our feelings, ask the questions, find the words that are impossible to find in the most unthinkable times, and just be together and offer a safe space to talk about the hardest thing of all and how to have Chrissy's words, patience, positivity, and prayer throughout all of it. So, Chrissy, you two clearly are walking this journey together right now. And then the question I have for both of you is, how does having a friend who's going through it help to be able to share these things? And how are you able to talk to each other that you can't talk to someone like me or your kids or all the people in your life who want to be a part of this with you, but there's no way to explain it because you don't know it until you've done it and walked it. Like you just said, you're not walking in my shoes. So does this create obstacles in your relationships with the people in your life that aren't struggling?
I mean, I don't know about you, Chrissy, but I know that anybody who really doesn't keep in touch with me on a regular basis, I don't care anymore. I have a lot of contacts at work. I don't tell everybody, but I do. I have a lot of friends at work that will ask me how I feel. And like yesterday, I had a knee scope. Today, I walked in with a cane, and they're like, "Why are you here? Are you okay?" And there are some people that are they really have empathy for you. You know, you can't talk to everybody about it because unless they're calling you all the time or spending time with you, I don't really have use, for
Do
that.
you want to hear about it? See, Luann, to me, I don't want to hear about it. I want to get the freaking treatment done. I don't want to really talk about it all week.
Right.
I'm tired. Do I really want to talk about, say, listen, oh, how are you? It's like a Roseanne, Madonna. How are you feeling? Wow, I feel like shit. My body hurts. My leg hurts. I'm bleeding. I'm this, I'm that. Do you really want to be discussing what's going on?
No.
With you? Do you really want to discuss it with your family or your friends? Do you
Right.
really need to say what's going? Just say I don't feel good, and that's it. And I say, like I tell Lisa, just take it as it is. That I enjoy you just telling me stupid shit of the day makes my day. I don't want to know about the cancer. I got it. It's here. Okay, but I don't need
But
to
from the other point of this discussion, from sitting on my point, and I'm sure the other people who love you guys here, I don't know, Danielle, Carlene, if anybody wants to chime in. When you're all going for treatment, we're sitting home with our stomachs in our heart. Like my stomach is not. I'm sitting there worrying all day. What's happening? Is she okay? What's happening? I'm not hearing from her. What's going on? And you want just the basic information, or just, you're sitting, just because, and cancer is a terrible thing it's impacting you, but we're all still here loving you. And all these people love you and they just want to be, if they can't go with you, like I've never been able to go with you, Chrissy. So I can't be there, which is where I'd like to be. But then you don't know what's happening. And for someone who wants to have information all the time, which I do, because I'm a journalist and I have to know everything, it's hard. So you have to strike a balance between but what you need, Chrissy. And I, everybody says, well, it's not about you. That you hear that a lot when you're the friend. It's not about you. It's about Chrissy. Yes, it is about Chrissy, but the people that love you guys are still here. Do you see what I mean? And they love you and they're still here.
Right.
So yeah. Did somebody say something?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, and I understand. Yeah, Chrissy, who goes with you each week? I mean, every time you go, do you take the same person?
Phil. I do.
He goes
I do.
all the
I take
time.
Phil.
See, I can't have my husband.
All the time.
I can't have my cousin go with me. He never has gone with me because he'll cry nonstop, and I can't handle that while I'm doing treatment. Do you know what I'm saying?
No.
I don't
And
want
I
him to
understand.
come with
And
me. He
see,
gets
and
mad
that's
at
to
me.
me. No, and Phil gets me. And he hears, he knows, he understands the questions. And if he has a question, he'll ask the doctor. But honestly, I I don't like discussing about it as much as Lisa likes to discuss it because she is a writer. So she wants to hear about it. She wants to hear about all the nitty gritty every single minute. Why are you sick today? Why do you feel tired today? Why, you know, and sometimes you just want just to be hugged or just be
Alone,
Luann,
left alone.
just be Chrissy, just be Luann, just be me 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago when I wasn't sick. So sometimes you don't necessarily
I know.
want all the communication back and forth. And sometimes that's why there is lack of communication because you don't want to go back and forth with the communication, and
Stephanie,
Yeah.
I asked Stephanie to chime in. How about you? How did this impact your relationships? Because we haven't heard from Stephanie yet.
Well, I talked about my sons last time, and they're very long distance, one in Japan and one in South Carolina.
I didn't know that
So
far.
so that was hard. And again, just for some context, I had already had to tell them that my husband had stage 3 colon cancer. He was diagnosed about 7, 8 months before me. And so then to have to say that I also had cancer was devastating for me. And I think that's something, maybe, Chrissy, you're talking about a little bit. To say those words to somebody you love as much as your children, especially, is really heartbreaking, and you don't want to break their hearts.
No.
So what I did was, I mean, the same thing I did when I had to tell them about my husband, who's their stepfather. Um, is I took all the best things I heard and said and spun it the best way I could. But the hardest thing, and I didn't talk about this last week, was telling my mother. My
Oh,
mother,
Stephanie.
my my mother, she was out of town when I ended up in the emergency room, and that's how I got my diagnosis. I was lucky. I also had ovarian cancer, stage 3. So I had to wait till she came home. She was in Florida visiting relatives, and I had to wait till she got home. And I asked my brother to meet me at her apartment so I could tell her. And I had to tell her as soon as she got home because I was going in for surgery like in a couple days. So I couldn't wait. And I went in and sat down and we were just making small talk, how was your trip, this and that. And then my brother knocked on her door. And when she saw my brother, she spun around and looked at me and goes, "What's wrong?" She knew something. So I did the same thing. I did the same thing. Look, this is what it is, but they're going to do the surgery. And, and this is, I'm going to do chemo and it's, it's going to be fine. We have a really good outlook and blah, blah, blah. And she just bawled. She just broke down and cried and broke my heart. But I kept telling her, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. Matter of fact, I think I was having, yeah, it was 2 days. I was having the surgery in 2 days.
Wow.
So I couldn't not tell her. And I tried to spin it as best I could. But it's just, there's no easy way. There just isn't. There just
No,
is no,
there's no reason. No.
when you have to tell your parent or you have to tell your kids, it's just really, um, really tough. And then keeping them update. But I did the same thing. I didn't tell them everything. I just didn't want, I think two things. Saying out loud makes it real. And secondly, I did not want to break their hearts. I just didn't want to. So I gave it the best spin that I could. I was very lucky. It's 17 years ago. I will tell you a couple things. Do not go on the internet. The internet will tell, no matter what symptoms you have, the internet's always going to tell you you're dying. That's what they're just always going to tell you that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So do not do that. And I was lucky. There was no patient portal when I was going through it in 2008. So I only heard everything directly from the doctor. But it's just not it's just not easy, no matter what your attitude, no matter, what philosophy or
It is.
what coping mechanisms you have. It's just not easy, and everybody has to do it their way.
Right. I mean, I think that we all have different ways that we handle it.
Yeah. And Chrissy, I'm in awe of
Yeah.
you
I
because
agree.
really am. You know, when you say that patience, positivity, and prayer, I'm like going, that wasn't me. That wasn't me. That wasn't me.
Now, I live that, and I truly, truly live it. I mean, I don't say it, I live it.
I know you
And
do.
and
I
I
know you
wake
do.
up, I pray. When I go to bed, I pray. And what's funny is that even my daughter, even her friend, they've gone to church recently. And
Danielle,
it's
yeah?
helping me. What?
I'm asking Danielle, did that help?
Danielle?
Danielle,
She's
she's still
somewhere
there?
there. She's probably somewhere there.
No, I was trying to talk. It wasn't letting me unmute.
I'm
I
sorry.
can't figure out how to
Yeah,
mute
I was
myself.
like scrolling. I was seeing everybody's face like enlarged. Um, it actually did help. I'm not gonna lie. I think it was honestly just more so the silence and just not being on my phone or being watching something or not being in my own thoughts. Just like sitting there kind of just made it more relaxing for me. So then it
Mhm.
just it did feel good. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm
Can,
glad.
can I
Can I
say,
ask you, are you able to tell me how you feel when, like, do you wish your mom told you more, or do you think you know enough, or is it hard for you on the days when she's going for like treatment?
Well, like she said, when she first told me, it's like literally the most traumatizing thing. She called me,
Mhm.
hysterical crying, and she told me she had like a month to live and that I need to say bye to her.
I
And I
said
was like,
18 months. 18.
what? And she's like, I'm gone. I'm leaving. I'm dying. And I'm like, what? And just calls me out of the blue and says, are you sitting down? And says this to me. And I'm literally a mess. And I call my brother, hysterical. And he's like, what the hell are you talking about? And I'm like, mom just told me that she only has like a year to live and she's dying. And he's like, no, Danielle. He's like, mom doesn't listen. She's telling you worst case scenario. And I'm like, what do you mean, worst case scenario? And then he explained everything to me and it did calm me down. So I think now it's kind of like the unspoken thing between us is that we really just don't talk about it. And at first it became Danielle overreacts, but then I was like, no, let's really talk about this story. It's not me overreacting. It was just the moment. And I guess because we are each other's comfort, my mom just said her biggest fear. And then me, I jumped to conclusions thinking the worst case, like the worst scenario as well with her. So I think we just both know that we're emotional people, so maybe sharing the things all the time with each other isn't the best, which I'm fine with, right? Like it's not something, I think it's something that we both come to terms with when it comes to that.
Luann,
Okay.
do you discuss it to your family all the time or no? You're on mute. You're on mute. You're on mute. You gotta unmute, Luann. Okay, she's on mute.
on your phone,
I'll say,
sometimes it's hard to find the
It's hard to
I'll
unmute
say
find
button.
them.
when my mom sadly passed away, but my grandmother, we were very close, my mother, grandmother, and I, and the three of us were very, very close. And my grandmother, I'll never forget, and I'm bringing this up because it's like we didn't talk. I said this last time. We didn't talk about any of this, any of us, right, together. I never talked to my grandma about my mom being sick. I never talked to my mom about my mom really being sick. I was in denial the whole time. And my mom, she a lot different. She didn't take care of herself. She didn't go for a point. She wouldn't go to the doctor. She came in, she just was a different scenario. She didn't even really fight hard. You know what I'm saying? She didn't go for the best doctors. She didn't go for the treatment she should have had. She just sort of gave up because that was her nature and that was her. I couldn't make her any different. But when my grandma found out that she had passed away. I'm bringing this up because I'll never forget my grandmother's face. We didn't have to say anything. We walked in and she just fell into the chair because she knew without us saying it. And I think if we had been more open with each other, I think if my grandma had been able to talk to my mother, I think if I had been able to talk to either of them, it was a way different time. This was a long time ago. Treatments were not what they are now. This was 30 something years ago. But I'm saying that, like, the conversation wasn't there. So we were all suffering in our own little pods, like our own little worlds. We were just suffering alone and not talking. And I never got to say to my mom what I wanted to say. I never got to say to my grandmother what I would have said. Now, if I were to face this as a grown up like I am now, I would have told her, I think, whatever. Anyway, but I feel like the communication is everything. You know what I mean? And my grandmother then got dementia. I think it was too much. She couldn't handle it. She was never the same. So
Yeah.
it was
The one
hard.
thing
Some people can't handle it. Some people can't, and that's, some people can't, and it's, it, it's a journey, and people understand cancer's a journey, and I'm on a journey, and we're all the people that are on this Zoom today, we're on the journey together because you're here with us, and I thank you because you know what, you're hearing, because we're on a journey, together. And I liked this journey to be a good journey and be skipping. I'm sorry, I'm more of a Mary Poppins kind of girl, you know. And instead of shedding tears, shedding smiles, because it's so easy to cry than to
Well, can I
smile
say
about
one more
your
thing? Because I cry, I was talking about this in our writing group the other night. The reason I cry so much is because I only know negativity. I only came from a place where the worst thing that happened to me was this with my mom, right? So you have taught me a new way to be, and Stephanie, you too, about it doesn't mean just because you have cancer doesn't mean the worst. It's all about how you approach it. It's about the treatment you get. It's about being vigilant in that treatment. There's so much more advances than there used to be, you know?
That's right.
But when you've lived through something like I did at such a really young age, like, it was traumatic. And I guess I never really processed it. And this brings back all those feelings. So that's why, Chrissy, you being so positive and patient in prayer and all that, you've taught me a new way to approach this. And that's why I am more positive now. Do you notice that or no? Anybody?
aren't so positive today, guys, but most of the time you're positive. It's a work in progress. This is a work in progress, and it's not every day we're gonna be. Not every day we can understand, but I get it. I mean, it's not that I don't get it, and I do understand. I just try to, and I hate to say it, but I have to shield myself to survive
Yeah.
all the negativity. I have to shield myself and put myself in a bubble. And is it selfish? Yes, it's 100% selfish. And am I selfish? 100%. Absolutely. But I have to survive for everybody else around me. I have to survive for you and for Joe and for Frankie and Colleen and Danielle and Zaba and and all of you guys. So
Phil?
yes, do I have to shelter
Phil?
myself?
You
100%
forgot
I
Phil.
shelter me. What?
You forgot to say Phil.
Oh my God. And well, it's all the girls. I'm not talking about the boys. Oh, did I say Joe? But okay. All right,
That
Phil
was me.
too. Yes, Phil.
That was
Phil,
me
my
being
rock.
funny.
Yes, Phil, my rock. Yes,
That
Phil
was me
is my
making a
rock.
joke.
Yes.
So Luann got her sound back. Does she want to speak?
Yeah, because I couldn't figure out what I'm doing. I'm so not good with electronics. Um, I can't even remember what part we were up to. I was listening.
No, Luann, I'm just saying that for us, it's a journey that we have to, and we have to shelter ourselves for our family. And we have
Absolutely.
to, and we have to stay positive for our family and friends.
Totally.
For
Totally.
your Elena and for my Lisa, we
Yeah.
have to stay positive for them, for my Danielle, for my Joe, for my Colleen, you know what I'm saying? For Frankie,
Yeah.
for your little Jack, you know what I'm saying? For all your grandkids, you have to shelter yourself from negativity.
That's
And you
right.
can't have, and why, and perfect example is Luann, her husband would drive her, he'd drive her to the end of the world. But she can't have the negativity
No,
of him crying there.
I can't. It's too much for
And
me.
it's, you know what I'm saying? While she's doing it, she cannot have that. She needs people surrounded her with the positivity
Yeah.
because she's going through it, and she needs, like I need, people that are there for me, but just there. They don't
Yeah.
need to say, you don't have to say things sometimes.
Right.
Being there is a million
Oh,
words. You don't have to say it all the time. You just have to
right. My
be
children.
there,
Right,
you
Which
know?
I do
right.
all the time. I say. I want to
And
start.
I don't want to say, you don't need to say, you just need to be
And
there.
be there. Yeah,
Be
you're
there.
right. You don't need to talk
I,
nonstop. I will. I'm very
oh,
picky
Colleen's raising her
about.
hand.
I'm
Colleen's
very
raising.
picky about who goes with me. I'll tell you a funny story. My cousin, who's about 10 years older than me, I love her, but I can't always deal with her. And she
Okay.
kept insisting she wants to take me, wants to take me, wants to take me. So she took me on one day, the end of the summer. I had to be there like 7 in the morning. Joe drives me to work, drives me there. She lives downtown Brooklyn. She drives the rest of the way. We have, and it was a nice time, I have to say. But I had told her, and my sister told her, after treatment, I gotta get something to eat. It's a long day. You're
Right, you're
there a
starving.
couple of
Right, you're
hours.
starving. Right.
Yeah, and you're walking out like a zombie because
Yes.
you've had already the Benadryl and the steroids. So I had
Yes.
told her this before, and she said, "Okay, I do have to pick up my dog. She shares a dog with her son. He was going to doggy daycare." So the son was bringing him. She had to pick him up. And I said, "Well, what time do you pick him up?" "It closes at 6 o'clock." I said, "All right." We happened to get out at 3. I was starving and I was in the mood for, it sounds crazy, but raw oysters. That's all I wanted.
Okay.
So I tell her this and she says, "Oh, I have to go and pick the dog up." And I said, "But you told me that the dog could stay there till 6." "Oh, well, my son and his wife don't want the dog there till 6. They want me to pick up the dog by 4." Now
Oh,
we're on
jeez.
East 53rd Street, Manhattan. I said, "But
You're
Linda,"
never getting there by 4.
right? I said, "We never ate. We just snacked." I said, "I'm starving. Can we please just run into the place, grab something, and then you'll be a couple of minutes late?" Let me call them. Oh my God, the nightmare going back and forth. "Oh, my wife, you know how she is. She's crazy. She doesn't want the dog there. You got to go get the dog." Finally, I said to Linda, "Let's go home. I'm going to text my husband. I'll tell him to come pick me up after work." "No, no, no. We'll go eat in my neighborhood." That's not what I wanted. Like, I'm sorry. You knew this. So we get in the car and the son is like, "Come on, Ma, you gotta get there." She's freaking out. Take Uber with the dog if you don't want it to walk in the heat. I don't know what to tell you. So anyway, we get stuck in so much traffic. I'm nauseous at that point. We don't pick up the dog till 5:15. And now, of course, we have to go somewhere in her neighborhood. And I don't know, we wound up going for sushi, but that's not what I wanted. I told my husband, "Come and get me. This way, by the time I'm done eating, we can go
Just get
straight
me
home."
out of this mess, right? Get me out of this
Yeah,
mess.
and I text she had texted my sister saying, "Why don't you come meet us?" My sister lives right over there, downtown Brooklyn. And my sister's so confused. She's like, she texts me and she goes, "I'm so confused. Where are you?" So now I'm telling her all this shit. And she's like, "Never again. That's it. I'll make sure I come with you the next time." But I got to tell you, I kept saying, "Chemo, dog, food, dog." And I have 2 dogs. I love my dogs. But all I wanted was those stupid oysters and just to then go home. It became an easy 8 o'clock at night from
Because
7
you're
in the morning.
exhausted, because you're on the Benadryl.
Again,
You're
it's
still
Exactly.
about
exhausted.
people that they're not hearing you, and
Nothing.
this is again a breakdown in communication
Yeah.
because they're not going through it. You are, and we as people who are not going through it are not hearing you. They're not
Well,
because in their mind they're still living in the day to day of, oh yeah, the dog got to be picked up, the kids got to go to school, blah blah blah. In your life, everything is about getting through this chemo, right?
Right. Yeah.
well, it's
Getting
Yeah.
getting through the day.
yeah,
Sometimes
Right.
getting through the day.
Right,
yeah,
right. So
exactly.
I said, never again. I feel bad, but I'm like, there's just some people that can't go with you. You know what I'm saying? Like
I
my
hear you.
daughter was nice, and if she ever wanted to go again, you know, look, that's up to her. I think it's hard for her. My son only came with me once for a CAT scan, and that's because he texted me and he said, "I really didn't think I don't really know if I can go through with it, but I told Danielle I'd like to come." And I said, "Okay, then come, but you don't feel forced." And we went to a different building, which was actually really nice because it's the one overlooking the water, the Hudson. I felt like I was in a hotel. and they don't
co-coding.
give you the gowns like they do on East 53rd. So it was a whole different experience. And I'm glad that he came because it was just a CAT scan, so it was nothing else. But I thought that that was very thoughtful of him.
Yes, and he felt
Yeah.
involved, I'm sure, you know?
Yeah, and
It's
but
important.
it's hard. It really is. My older daughter has 4 kids. She doesn't need to come to a hospital. You know, my younger daughter. I mean, if she ever wants to come, I'm not going to tell her no. She's more of. I think she would get a little bit more upset. And like I said, my sister, my older sister comes with me most of the time, and my friend Elena. My younger sister, the whole 2 times that I had cancer, she did not come with me. I think the third time, I think she lived in Fantasyland, and I think the third time it was like my other sister was basically like, "You need to help out. You need to start coming too. You need to take her." You know, and I think her nervousness to get over that is talk obsessively to the point where, like, oh my God, you just got to tune her out. Otherwise, you've had enough.
Yeah.
But she only came a couple of times and that kind of ended. Matter of fact, sometimes she'll call me and she goes, "Oh, when do you have treatment? Next week?" And I'm like, I had it yesterday. Like, come on, you know? So that kind of annoys me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, you know, what
Yeah,
is
so everybody, family, friends, everybody's got
absolutely.
like, you deal with everybody differently, and you guys are
Mhm.
just trying to get through the treatment.
Yeah.
You have all these different personalities.
Yeah.
Colleen, you had your hand up. I want you to get a chance to say your question or
No,
your
it's not
thought.
a question. I think it's more important to center the voices of people going through it. So I can give my thoughts like later at the end. I don't need to, it's not relevant necessarily to this moment, but I can chime in at the end.
I think
Okay,
we're
well,
closing soon because it is 7:22.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was just going to say, and the baby says hi.
Frankie.
I was just gonna say that I think as a family member, as a loved one, I think it's important. Like my personal opinion is like we're not here to burden the person going through the cancer. So any other feelings that we have, it's important for us to get the help we need outside of them. And I think it's hard for everybody. We're gonna have our own feelings, but it's not our place, it's not my place to burden the person going through it. I want to be there for them. And I personally feel that that's really important for us to remember, is that we're allowed to have our feelings, but I think I personally have to be strategic in who I talk to because I'm not here to stress out Chrissy. I'm here to be here for Chrissy. And I think that's the thing that I have to think about. For me personally, I'm here for Joe, I'm here for Danielle. And we're all going to have our feelings. But it's not necessarily my feelings are not Chrissy's business, about it. It's my business and her feelings are her business. So I think that can be hard if she's the person we go to, but I think we have to be mindful about what that's like for them to have to hear that. It's not their place.
right. Well, that's why in the beginning, Chrissy said I had to have other people to speak to, which has always been the case. We don't really talk about my feelings in this. We're positive, right? I mean, we just really focus on positivity. Whereas thank God for this, Stephanie, and for Deb, and for that. You have heard, you guys have heard. I'm sorry for that. I really am.
Oh, no, 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 no,
And
not
I
at all.
thank you for taking the bullet for me, guys. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you all.
No, but really, Stephanie and Deb and Mary Jo and Diane, who's not here right now, but they have really been the ones who have heard everything, you know. And Sue, I'm sorry, Sue, poor Sue. Yes, I just mean because we're writing the book though, and that the book brings up a lot of these feelings, so they get to hear it every Monday, and Sue hears it every day, all day, every day. I'm sorry, Sue, I didn't mean not to mention you.
I mean, Sue, I think you hear it a lot more than anybody.
But
You see, I'm here for you 100%. Don't you worry.
Oh, I love you, Sue.
very blessed to have I'm blessed to have so many people that do listen, and so I'm wondering what it's like for people that don't have that. You know what I mean? I'm very lucky to have people I can talk to because some people may not. And if you can't talk to the person and you don't have a support network, and Colleen, I don't know if you were here the day I told you about my failed attempt to go to some kind of group situation to talk about it. I got sort of kicked out, but that's another story. It's almost a funny story, but that didn't work for me. So I was very blessed to have other a nice net, a support network. But I agree. I made a conscious effort because Chrissy told me in the beginning, you have to be positive or I can't be surround myself with you. And I've made a real strong effort to do that. I know I'm not perfect every day, but I've really tried.
No,
Because
we
you're
all
right.
go off. It's like, you know, it's like going off the bandwagon. We all go off the bandwagon, Lisa.
And I think, and this is coming from a therapist, me personally, like I think that it is hard to hear. It's not about you. I think that's a really hard thing to hear, but it is true. Right? Like there's truth to that. And I think that's also why it can be painful because it's like, no, but and it is, it's like, it is about us, but at the same time, it's about us on like in our own world. Like, and then for the other person, like it's important to be we have to be selfish, right? When you're going through it, you kind of have to be selfish a little bit and focus on do what you need to do to take care of yourself. And sometimes that's not going to feel good, but like we got to let those people be selfish to take care of themselves because that's the most important thing in this whole journey.
Yeah.
Be there for tomorrow. I mean, that's the most important thing is that there's a tomorrow.
Absolutely.
You know, and that's what I feel like there's a tomorrow. We have a tomorrow, you know, and Lynn and I have a tomorrow. Stephanie has a tomorrow. Lisa, you have a tomorrow. Colleen, Sue, you know, Mary Jo, Danielle, Evelina, everybody here, we have a tomorrow. And you know what? And that's what we're really looking for is the tomorrow. To be happy for today and live for the tomorrow.
Yeah.
And you can't ask for more than that. And you can't ask for any one of us, whoever's going through it as a cancer patient, to ask for more than a tomorrow. Don't ask for more than tomorrow from me, you know, because I can't give you more than tomorrow. I can only give you tomorrow.
And you know
You know,
what?
and
If I
That was beautiful. Go ahead.
And it's absolutely true, but you know what? It's true for everyone. We just live as though it's not. Do you know what I'm
no,
saying?
that's what I'm saying.
It's
And this brings it to life to all of us.
Yeah,
Every one of
yeah,
us that, you know, you go across the street and you can get run over in a second. You know,
exactly. You
people,
don't know what can
whole
happen.
towns are washed out. Everything's gone. Hurricanes, you know, tornadoes, everything that you have.
Yeah.
We have each other and we live for today and tomorrow, but this has brought me closer, if I anything, to my family and my friends. You know, I mean, me and Luann have like, you know, every so often we go back and forth with each other because you know what? We feed off each other because sometimes we just need, Luann, I just need to hear your voice. How are you doing? Are you still holding
I
up, you
agree.
know? And you know, she's like, Chrissy, how are you doing? Are you still holding up? Are you positive still? You know, and I'm like, yes, I'm still here and I'm still positive. And it's just that, and it's not like I talk to Luann every day. I don't. But when we talk, we understand each other, and it's that one moment that we have this common denominator
That's
that's
right.
affecting our lives, and it's, you know, different people, different families, but it's affecting our lives in the same way.
My charger's up there. Yeah.
You know,
I so agree.
you know, so I thank everybody here tonight just to be here and to hear us and to talk and to give your opinion. Mary Jo, we didn't hear from you today. Next time. If you want to say something, if you want to
Mary
put
Jo, do you
something
have
in
anything
it.
to
Just
say?
listening. I'm sorry, say again?
And Shayna.
Yeah, do you want to share anything? Shayna, it's so nice that you're here. I mean, did you want to share anything any thoughts after
No,
this?
I just was so inspired by your story at the conference that I just felt like I really needed to meet Chrissy and see
Oh, there you go.
dynamic. And I think it's beautiful how much you care for each other. It's really inspiring. Like after I lost my mom to Alzheimer's, and she was such a huge piece of my life that I thought, you know, there's so many ways to experience love in this world. And there's a hole where my mom was, but I just love looking for it in friends now a little bit more.
And you'll have, you know, that's beautiful.
Maybe
And you
cry.
know what? And she will always be with you. You know that, Shayna. I believe that people, they move on, but they always stay with you. So even though she is gone, she will always, in my heart, I know she will always be an angel on your side, behind you, with your new friends, and maybe guide you to people that you need to be with.
Well, I feel like we were connected in her spirit. It was a beautiful experience, and from the first day, we had a bond, and
I
we
think the
talked a lot,
bond was tears.
and we cried a lot.
Hey,
Yeah,
that's
it's true.
experiences too.
We were voted biggest criers.
go.
Friendship that I can see lasting forever. We bonded there, and we bared our hearts and we told our stories. And you being here means the world to me, really. All of you, But I'm glad.
Mary
It's
Jo.
also really nice to hear both perspectives. Like I see how Lisa just loves you so much and she just wants to do everything she can and know everything and stop this disease from spreading if she could, And then I
Oh,
also
she would. She would.
yeah. And I see exactly what you're saying too, is that, like, don't bring your tears to me right now. I need positivity, which is really hard when you're all wrapped up in your own anticipatory, perhaps griefy feelings. And it's complicated, but it's all love. It's just coming out in different ways. And so even though I don't know anyone with an advanced form of cancer right now, I can totally relate to all of this through the walk I did with my mom with Alzheimer's, my friends who have other ailments right now. It obviously just being a human is
Right, as a human is a different disease, different thing. It could be heart failure. It can be,
right.
it could be anything. I mean, everybody's affected by some kind of illness
Mhm.
through somebody that you know.
But what you
And
Yeah.
it
said,
doesn't take away from people of
but
what their illness is. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't. Like what their illness is, it doesn't make it any less or any more. They can't, you know what I'm saying? And people understand that. They hear it and they're like, oh, oh, you're gonna die. You know, like Luann said, they have you in the grave. Everybody has you in the grave. So you have to move forward to it and not let you can't let things like that in. You just can't let it in. Can't have any of that negativity in. You can't have those aliens in your life. You can't.
what you said, Shane, about it all being love, it is true that we may not have the words, all of us, to say the right thing at the right time. And it is complicated and confusing. And we don't always, yes, I know that it is not about me, but there are times when, as a human, you still have a bunch of feelings, right? And so I've tried my best to keep them out of our dialogue and our conversations and bring them elsewhere. But you have your feelings, I have my feelings, and Stephanie, you have your feelings, and Shana, you have yours, and all of you, Danielle, everybody has their own feelings about this journey that you're on, Chrissy. But at the bottom of it, it's all just love because we all love you and we love each other, you know?
Well, and we all love each other, Lisa, and it's about being human love of nature of loving people and being just kindness and the pure kindness of people. I mean, everybody here is a kind individual, and that's beautiful in its own way, its own love. It is a beautiful thing that we have all these people here that love you and love me, and it's beautiful. And hopefully we can share it to other people that are going through this and have a forum that because there's so many different perspectives. Luann's perspective is different than my perspective. Stephanie's perspective is different than Luann and my perspective. Everybody's got a different perspective on the same situation, same thing. Everybody's got a different answer. We all have a different perspective on it. And hearing this forum of people loving each other and being kind to each other and listening to each other, just listening,
Yeah.
not judging, no judgment, just hearing each other out, I think is beautiful in its own way.
It's
Just as beautiful as our book, I think that just other people listening to each other, it's a beautiful thing. It is beautiful.
the book is still going to be very special.
Will.
Yeah.
It is. Mary Jo, I'm sorry, you tried to say something 3 times.
Yeah, please.
Oh,
Can you say
no,
something, Joe?
I just I'm just trying to take it all in and I think my observation of listening to everybody plus my, experience going back through life is that the communication is the really hard part of this. Not the loving part is really easy compared to the communication part of this. That it's just so hard to come up with the right words, when I've worked as a therapist in years past, and there were times I'm still just like putting my foot solidly in my mouth, so it, yeah, it just can be tough. I mean, I haven't had people, my brother has had kidney cancer, but it has not really risen to the crisis level.
Well, knock on wood.
Yeah,
Quoting
exactly,
Malloy.
exactly. But I, I remember back
We got
to,
our little Padre Pio here for you.
yeah,
We want
yeah.
nothing.
He doesn't have any right now, fingers crossed. But, I just remember going back, like the cases of the people who had cancer who ultimately succumbed to it. It was so long ago that it was a whole different world. Cancer was, much more likely to be a fatal diagnosis back then than it is now because we have so much better treatments. And,
That's what it is. That's
30 or
what, as
40
long as
years
they're new.
ago, there weren't a lot of options. So
Right.
that's been my biggest experience with it. And I think when I talk about communication, like the one event that sticks out, I think I was just getting out of college, and my father's sister had breast cancer and was dying. And when they knew she went into a care facility, and they knew she would never go home, and started to take apart her house. And I was just getting an apartment at that point, and
You
the
told
siblings all gave me furniture. And then I saw her like the following week, and it was like, I know I have to say thank you to her for, her giving me her furniture, but I don't know how to say thank you for it. Because to acknowledge that she wasn't going to be going home was to acknowledge that I know you're not going to survive this.
Right, right, right,
Um,
right, right, right. How do you say
so
thank you to that? That's a very
yeah.
hard.
And it was like, thank you. I think I ultimately said something stupid like, thank you, but if you need it back, let me know and I'll make sure I get it.
You
I
know.
was probably like 19 or 20 at the time.
Oh,
you know,
no.
and I just always thought, oh, what did I say that? There was no good thing to say, but
No, there was,
Yeah.
and
oh,
there's sometimes there is no good thing to say.
right. Yeah. I mean, that's the part that really has stayed the same over the years, that it's conversation and communication is hard.
And we're
Yeah.
learning. Listen, me and Lisa are doing this because we're learning as we go. I'm
Right.
learning, she's learning. We're all learning. I mean, Luann's learning. I mean, we're learning as we go because this is something new. Oh my God, look how cute. She's got a
Oh,
baby. Oh my gosh, she's got twins, Luann. She's
oh
got
gosh.
she's got twins. She's got a brand new one.
Oh,
She's
how
got a lot of
sweet.
little babies. She's got a lot of babies.
But
Uh,
like in the beginning, we made a
Can't hear
point
you, Luann.
of being positive, and talking about everything, right? And what I will say is this has brought us closer than we've ever been. And I love another time in one of these sessions, I'd like to talk about the beauty in this because the beauty is a whole other thing that the closeness we found, the discussions we've had doing these interviews for the book, the talks, the laughter, the stories, and also just the fact that,
And sometimes the raw truth of being the hardness of the book. I'm sorry, but some chapters were hard and we fought.
oh God, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The fights like that, I mean, get down dirty fighting
Oh
because we
God,
had to put but it's like the unsaid stuff that's in the room, like the elephant in the room and
yeah.
not saying it. So yes, the beauty of it, but also breaking through
Some of it's
the
ugly. Some of it's
break
ugly.
it, some of it gets ugly. It's
Well, we
not
had a
all
fight
pretty.
today. We had a fight today. And she's like, I'll see you at 6:20. I'm like, yes, I'll see you then. Goodbye.
right.
Because it doesn't matter. You're still you. You may have cancer, but you're still you. You've been friends for 47 years and you're still going to fight. Just like, all the relationships in your life are still going to be the same. And it's not easy. It's not always fun. It's not always
Not
pretty.
all your relationships are going to be the same, Lisa. See, I disagree.
Oh,
Some
well.
relationships you can't have while you're going through this because they can't go through it with you. And some people aren't able to go through it with you. Some friends that are very close for many years, even 30 years, Patty, you know what I'm saying? And
Right.
she can't physically get on a phone with me without crying for the whole phone conversation.
Mm,
So I literally cannot talk to her. I've not
yeah.
talked to her in 2 years. We text, but I physically cannot talk to her
That's
because she
sad.
she just can't. She has me dead. So she can't understand it. She can't wrap herself around it, and she can't, and it's not that I don't love her any less. I love her, and we text each other, but we cannot physically talk on the phone. And some people cannot, and some people will not be able to handle this. And some people can't handle the positivity, or they can't do the patience or the prayer. Some people
Right.
cannot do it. And and they have to go through it in their own way and be angry or whatever their way is. And again, there goes me sheltering myself because I have to shelter me. because I have to
Right,
live for
you have
you.
to protect yourself, right.
Yes, I have to
I've
protect.
started to understand that now because even with me, I know again it's not about me, but like in my journey, like
Not
if I
today, though. We're not today. We had a little problem understanding today.
no, I don't mean about you though. I'm talking about like
Okay.
say I try to talk to someone else about how I'm feeling about you, that isn't you. Like if I try
Mm.
to talk to someone else in my life and they just don't get it and they're not offering me any kind of comfort or nurturing or at least just listening, just plain old listening. If they're not going to do that, I have to distance myself from them because
Right.
if I'm not going to be able to talk to you about it, I'm not going to be surrounding myself with other people who are just not going to, they're going to be dismissive of my feelings. So I have to
No.
choose who I talk to about this carefully. You know
A
what I mean?
100%. And you have to make sure that they're positive. You don't want to be talking to somebody that's also a very negative individual that's going to bring in all that negativity and all that second thought and all that thought process and you're second guessing yourself and you don't want that
Right.
either. You
Right.
know.
So it's about surrounding yourself with the right people through this for you, for
Yes.
Luann, for everybody in this room right now. Everybody who's here needs to find the place where they need to go to get with to fuel up sort of for this battle or journey or whatever you want to call it. You need to find the place to fill your heart and your soul with the what you need to keep going forward,
I
right?
agree. Yes.
Right.
I think we should close on that because I
Right.
think that's beautiful.
Well, I just want to say that all of you are just really, really wonderful. And Luann, thank you for coming. Stephanie, thank you for sharing. Everybody who
Of
shared, Colleen,
course.
Danielle, Sue,
Colleen, little
everybody.
Frankie.
Where's Frankie?
We
Oh,
don't hear
there's
you,
his face.
Luann.
You see his
We have
face?
all these babies.
Colleen, can
I
you see?
gotta go.
Hi. Bye, Stephanie.
Bye,
Look at the
guys.
baby.
Bye, Stephanie. Bye,
Love you
babies.
Stephanie, I
guys.
love
Thank
you.
you.
I'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, he's so
Bye.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye,
thank you
Danny.
so
Thank
Love
much.
Danielle.
you.
No, thank
They are
you.
so stinking cute, Luann.
Oh
Oh
my
my
God.
goodness.
Are they cute? She doesn't know she
And look
can't
at
hear us.
Frankie. They're saying hi to each other. Frankie's
Oh,
out.
Frankie's out. Good.
Oh,
Let
there's
him
a baby.
sleep. All
I don't see
right.
Luann's baby. Okay. Well, thank
All
you
right.
all. And we assume we'll be back
Bye.
in another 2 weeks.
Bye.
Okay.
Oh,
We
they're
love
so
you.
cute.
Love you.
Love
Bye.
you. Bye.
Bye. Hi, Chrissy. Hi, Frankie. Oh, there's your baby. Oh, cute. Bye.